Thank you, Rachelle. And Crystal's over here helping me because I forgot to do something. Thank you, Crystal. We have this new thing where we can help stream onto all of our different platforms, and I forgot to hit the start button on there, so that's on me.
And if they're watching on Facebook or YouTube, they can ask questions live.
Yeah, you can also ask questions live, Facebook, YouTube. Where was the other one?
Just Facebook Live and YouTube for right now. We're working on
All
the
right.
others.
Facebook, YouTube.
FaceTube and YouTube.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, like Rachelle was saying, if you want to catch Studio 10, you can also go to their YouTube page at WILX Studio 10. You're just going to hit that subscribe button. But right now we're going to turn it to Colton Cichoracki. There we go. Now your head's not chopped off. Look at that. We had to change the camera shot a bit.
I'd like to keep this. That helps control everything else.
You got a good noggin.
Lots going on up here, let me tell you. You want to talk about some weather? Obviously, a lot of eyes are on the forecast as we continue to near Memorial Day weekend, which, I think it's cliche for news people to say it's hard to believe that it's, always Memorial Day, because wasn't there a talk show host that made fun of this?
Probably.
It was like the start of a month, and it was like a montage of all the news anchors saying it's hard to believe it's May 1st.
But I feel like everyone else can relate with us, because when we're with our friends, our family, and the rest of the community, I feel like it's not just us. We hear it from our people of, I can't believe life just flies by. What my aunt was telling me, the older you get, it's like you keep blinking and it just goes quicker and quicker.
Yeah. No, I believe that.
Someone's hitting the fast forward button on life, and they need to slow down a bit.
They do. And, as we march our way towards another Memorial Day, we're going to be seeing some nice weather continue. Now, it depends on what your definition of nice is, because at this point, we've been so dry, that's not necessarily nice for farmers. That's not nice for people that, have gardens and things like that they're trying to get off the ground. Here, we just haven't seen a ton of rain, and this is a look at the driest Mays on record. And I don't expect any more rain to fall this month. So I think that this is where we're going to finish up in both Lansing and Jackson, which does mean that we'll likely see a top 5 driest May on record in both Lansing and Jackson. Lansing hasn't even picked up an inch of rain so far this month. Jackson has seen a little bit more, but even that's not a lot. We're running way behind, and we could use some rain, and it doesn't look like we're going to see much rain in the forecast here. I want to show you this. Now, I like showing this type of graphic because it just shows how much rain we're going to see over the next 7 days.
Absolutely none.
playing. Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. No rain.
No rain is coming anytime soon. So, unfortunately, we're just going to have to kind of deal with this as we move forward here, because we just don't have a lot of rain in the forecast over the next 7 days, even 7 days plus around mid-Michigan, including today. We have sunshine out there, but it's cool. Once again, temperatures are in the 60s. The reason why it has been so cool today and yesterday was because of the wind direction. Coming in from the northeast, and what's to our northeast? A giant lake called Lake Huron. And Lake Huron is not very warm this time of year, so that cools the air down as it gets here. And that's why we've been seeing temperatures that are a little bit below average. And temperatures for the remainder of the day will remain in the 60s, and then eventually we'll see those numbers begin to fall overnight. Now, one thing, I didn't include the graphic in here because it was just issued while I was standing down here, is that there is another frost advisory that will be in effect until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and that is because we do have temperatures tonight that will drop down into the 30s, so there could be some frost out there, so you want to make sure that you cover up your plants if you can, or bring them inside if you can, because not expecting a hard freeze or anything like that, but there could be some frost outside tonight.
I know we have been talking about that, is all of the frost, and I was asking you yesterday, hey, we brought someone in from Beal Botanical Garden. We asked, hey, if people are planting their plants, and we talked about this whole frost advisory, what do they do? Should they wait it out? So.
Well, and it's funny, I remember talking to Andy Provenzano about this not too long ago. The advice that people give in the state of Michigan is wait until Mother's Day to plant for the first time of the season, but obviously we're post Mother's Day, and we're still seeing the frost and freeze concerns out there, and really Andy responded with, well, maybe not Mother's Day, but maybe Memorial Day is a better bet.
There you go.
And so Memorial Day is coming up here, and it does look like we're going to have to deal with another frost tonight. But I will say, looking longer term with our weather, it does appear that we're going to be warmer. So this will probably be the last time that we have to talk about this.
And then we want the rain next. That's
and then
what
we need
really
to get some rain in here. And then just it's it's progress. We got to move along here, right? So I want to show you this graphic too, because if you're going to be traveling north, I know some people are already hitting the roads. Lucky if you're
Yeah.
already off of work, but any of the highways that take you north, US 131 through Grand Rapids, US 127 here locally, or I-75 to our east, no issues to report through the Lower Peninsula. So no matter where you're going in Michigan, you should be okay. Weather-wise, today, tomorrow, over the next couple of days, that's some very quiet weather we'll be setting up. And here is the Memorial Day weekend forecast. Tomorrow's weather looks good, lower 70s and sunshine. Then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, also all looking pretty good. Lower 80s by Sunday. And Memorial Day itself, there could be a few more clouds around, but I'm expecting us to stay dry.
All right.
And we'll have temperatures in the lower 80s. So that's a really nice forecast for the holiday weekend. That's the good news, right? We haven't seen much rain. We need it, I know, but it is nice to have some nice weather for the holiday weekend. Barbecues, parades, events, things like that happening. But this is really something that,
Look at that climb.
what we're going to be seeing into next week is that we haven't seen a ton of heat so far. We've been warm, but it hasn't been super hot. Next week, upper 80s coming Wednesday, Thursday. I would not be surprised if we have to bump those numbers up a little bit. So very likely we could be in the lower 90s during the middle part of next week. So that's our first taste of some real heat.
Yeah.
That's too hot for me. I will be honest.
That is very hot. I'm thinking you need not even jump in a pool. You need like an ice bucket at that point.
That's
Take a nice ice bath.
Definitely some of the warmest temperatures of the season so far. So we'll be keeping an eye on that next week. This weather pattern, I can tell you, can change with what we're seeing, but a lot of indications are showing that by this time next week, we'll be seeing some very hot weather around here. But remember, average high 73. So that's going to be well above normal. That's typically what we would see, in the middle of, June or July.
I know. So that makes me a little anxious, I would say, for June and July. I'm like, what temperatures will we
Well,
have then?
we are entering into an El Nino.
Okay.
And those typically result in warmer temperatures for us. So we'll see what that means for the summer. But at this point, June starts in a week from today, and which
we were just about to say, can you believe it?
That's
There
hard
it
to
is.
believe.
Halfway through the year, though, see, you can't believe it. You're like, whoa, where does the time go?
But one of the things that we've, with the warm temperatures, with the lack of rain, you know what that means, is that we may be talking about some high fire danger. Now, this is today. Now, this is a website that is from the Michigan DNR. I believe they work with the University of Utah with this, the Meso West website here. You can find this on the DNR's website, current fire rating. And what you can see across the state, that V is very high, which you can actually
Move that around.
You can show
Oh, there we go.
like the little thingy there. And then you can highlight on the different stations, Mount Pleasant or wherever. But we're expecting to see the DNR sent out an email today telling people to or reminding people at this holiday weekend, you want to be careful if you're going to be doing any bonfires or
The
fireworks.
fireworks,
Want to be extremely careful because we're seeing dry weather, but so is most of the lower peninsula. That E that's up in northern lower towards Gaylord, that's actually extreme fire danger.
Oh, geez.
Which we don't see too often. And we're likely going to see this continue when our humidity levels drop and we see that dry, persistent weather. That's what leads to these high fire dangers, and that's kind of what we've been dealing with as of late. So we just wanted to mention that. Be extremely careful doing any burning of any kind outside, bonfires, have water nearby, don't let it get out of control, and things like that. So that's something to keep in mind here as we march our way through the weekend.
All right, that's good to know. Yeah, little concerning. I know we were talking about we need that rain. I think almost the whole month of May had no rain.
Yeah, not a ton of rain so far, not even an inch. But I did look, the new drought monitor came out today. That's another tool that we use to kind of see how dry it is, and they do rank, drought conditions. We are still not included in that.
Okay. Well, that's good.
That's good. But if we continue with this trend, we very likely will be included in that. They come out every Thursday, so we'll see a new one next week. But we'll see.
So yeah, we could use the rain for the plants to help get rid of the dryness that we're experiencing.
Yeah, and farmers too. We're this part of the state, big farming communities around here. So hopefully we can get some rain in here to help those plants that are just now getting into the ground, right? So we could use the rain, and hopefully we can get some here soon.
All right. Well, thank you, Colton. If people want to check up on any weather updates for this weekend, if they're traveling for Memorial Day.
Yeah, and you know what? One of the great things about the News 10 First Alert Weather app is that if you are traveling, the app will follow you, and you can get the updates wherever you're at. So the app is not only great if you're here at home, But even if you're going to be up in Gaylord, or you're going to be in Sault Ste. Marie, or somewhere in the UP, the app will still work up that way. So feel free to download it. It's a great tool. We put video updates in there as well, and you get push notifications of any watch or warning information if severe weather ever does threaten. We don't have much rain in the forecast, so it's definitely a useful thing.
Yeah, and it's free on Google Play and off of the Apple App Store. So, hey, who doesn't love free? Go check it out. But what we're going to check on right now is what's coming up during First at 4 and during our 90 minutes of news here. So, First at 4 during Mid-Michigan Matters interview today, we're bringing in someone from Goldfish Swim in Okemos. So, talking about the importance of swim lessons. As Cole and I were mentioning, one of the things a lot of people will be doing this weekend is heading into the pools. A lot of pools open up on top of just going in the lakes and swimming around. Obviously, we live in Michigan. We have a bunch of lakes surrounding us. And so we're really talking about the importance of swim lessons today for children specifically, and also just anyone in general, and how to prevent drownings. And then coming up, News 10 at 5, Senate Memorial Day. So members of the American Legion were with senators, and with representatives, talking about honoring those who have served our country and who have lost their lives. So remembering those who have served our country heading into this weekend. And then following that, News 10 at 5:30, AAA has a Tow to Go program. So as you're celebrating this Memorial Day weekend, it starts tonight and it goes through Tuesday in the morning. So again, your whole Memorial Day weekend. Use this as a last resort, if you're a little impaired from your celebrations and remembering those. This is a safe way to get you to your destination. Then News 10 at 6, MSP officers graduated today. So 8 new officers, they specialize in commercial vehicle enforcement. So we'll have more of that coming up at News 10 at 6. Colton, anything to say on these?
No, it's exciting stuff, and Studio 10, of course, also coming up at 3 o'clock, and we have a lot of things to talk about in that, like you mentioned earlier. So make sure you stick around for our full 90 minutes news. Do we call it now 2 hours of news? Because with the 4, I don't know. But
we have that little gap in between.
There's a little gap.
A little
that's
breather.
True. So it's not a full continuation.
Snack break, bathroom break, and then you catch us again.
Get more local news. But it's awesome to have our only 4 p.m. newscast, right?
That is true.
In mid-Michigan, so that's exciting.
And then to see what's coming up during 90 minutes of news, we're going to send it to our reporters out in the field.
Thanks, Taylor. It's National Safe Boating Week, and Memorial Day is right around the corner. That means people will be out on the water spending time on their boats. Coming up on News 10 at 5, we'll have some safety tips for you and your family to keep in mind. Over to you, Amaya.
Thanks, Tanaya. Today, I'm talking with the infamous cowboy that caught a cattle on I-75. We'll have more on that story later tonight. Deanna, over to you.
I'm here at City Hall where local law enforcement are pushing to make neighborhoods safer this summer. I'm Deanna Giles and I'll share how on News 10 at 6. Back to you, Taylor.
All right, thank you, Tanaya, Amaya, and Deanna for sharing what you're going to be working on and what you'll be showing everyone else for 90 minutes of news. We had Colton just leave, but remember, as you are, what day is it today? Thursday. There we go. It is Friday Junior. As you're heading out the door today, it's going to be a little bit chillier. That's why we have the long sleeves on. And just again, a little note for everyone. Be careful on the roads as many drivers will be heading out for their Memorial Day weekend. You want to pack the water, pack the sunscreen, pack the sunnies because you're going to need it this Memorial Day weekend. So make sure you're all staying safe, have fun, and remember those who served our country. But we will be back at 3 for Studio 10, so make sure to go check them out. 3:30, we will have Crystal and Tim Stout for Stout on Sports, and then we will be on for First at 4, followed by 90 minutes of news, the 5, 5:30, and the 6. We can't wait to see you guys then, so join in and have a great rest of your day.